Jai Shri Ram. We are now taking a bird's eye view of the Mausala Parvam, which is the 16th canto or chapter of the Mahabharata. Remember, there are 18 chapters. Mausala means a crowbar, a club or a pestle, if you want to call it. Pestle, rubrolu. Pestle is the thing with which you pound. So it's a club or something like a crowbar. So 36 years after the coronation of Yudhishthira, all Yadava warriors, they went on a picnic, they got drunk, and they started killing themselves. It happened one day that the rishis came to Dwaraka, the Sapta rishis, and some of these Yadavas who were drunk, actually drunk with power, and that is how when a society reaches a very high state of civilization, it becomes very rich and wealthy, and then decay sets in. You know, when the power, when you observe any fruit also, it becomes ripe, and when it becomes overripe, that is when decay starts. So, same thing with civilizations. So there has to be constant rejuvenation, otherwise permanent decay will set in. So these Yadavas, these warriors, great warriors, were all drunk one day, and when the Saptarishis came to Dwaraka, one of them, Samba, who is thought to be the son of Krishna himself, born of Jambavati. Now you see, in the Mahabharata there is only one wife of Krishna, that is Rukmini. All these are actually interpolations and creations of poets and all of them. So anything is possible anyway, so I will leave it there. So Samba is a very handsome man, obviously, because he is the son of Krishna. He was dressed up as a girl, and he was made to look as if he was pregnant. And these drunk Yadavas, they were ridiculing the rishis. They asked him, look at this lady, can you tell whether it will be a boy or a child she will give birth to? You see, this is what happens when power gets to their head. Vinashakale viparita buddhi. The rishis, you see, they intuited that these fellows are just mocking them. And then they said, okay, he will give birth. They could guess that this fellow is a male. He will give birth to a Musala, and that will destroy your entire clan, Vrishnis and Andhakas, all of you. You are power drunk. You will be wiped out. And shortly afterwards, such a club was born out of the thigh of Samba. This was reported to Vasudeva, and he said, okay, you powder it, grind it, pulverize it, and throw it into the sea. But you see, that is how destiny works. God's dice is always loaded. Ralph Waldo Emerson, a great American thinker, philosopher, transcendentalist, who studied Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. And another such great person, great American, was Henry David Thoreau. His name is Thoreau, Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau. Both these gentlemen are called transcendentalists. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote a poem called Brahma. Please read that. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, God's dice is always loaded. See, dice being loaded means the dice is faulty. The dice has been altered fraudulently, doctored. It is a doctored dice. That means like Shakuni's dice is there. That's a magic dice or doctored dice. So God's dice is always loaded. Means it will never be random or arbitrary. You will get what you deserve to get. Simply the karma theory. The karma recoil cannot be escaped. The seed and the fruit cannot be separated. You will reap what you sow. That is the meaning of that great utterance of Emerson. God's dice is always loaded. Now, so this place is Prabhasa Tirtha. Prabhasa Tirtha means Somnath. You see, that is where near they all went, and all the Yadavas went there. Anyway, this powder, which was powdered, it grew into powerful grass blades, which were like swords, and all the bad omens could be seen. And Sudarshana Chakra of Sri Krishna ascended into the sky, and you see the emblems of Sri Krishna, Garuda, and all the others were taken away by the Apsarasas. It was proposed by all the elders of Dwarka that they should go out on a pilgrimage, and they all went to the seaside, and like a picnic, like a jaunt. And Krishna and Balarama were also present, and they all began to drink. Yuyudhana criticized Kritavarma for killing, for being in that gang who killed Ashwadhama, murdered. Yuyudhana criticized Kritavarma. And he also taunted Satyaki, who killed Bhurisrava. Bhurisrava was on the verge of killing Satyaki, but that's a different story. You see, Satyaki was already tired because he fought many warriors, and he was trying to come back to see what was happening and to check about Yudhishthira's welfare. And in the meanwhile, Bhurisrava challenged him, and so a Kshatriya cannot deny. When he is thrown the gauntlet, he has to pick up the gauntlet. That's the idiom for a fight. So he picked up the gauntlet, but he was already fatigued. And Bhurisrava quickly knocked him down, and he was on the verge of slaughtering him, killing him with the sword. So Krishna noticed and told Arjuna, quickly cut off the hand. So before Bhurisrava could actually cut off Satyaki's neck, Arjuna shot an arrow and cut off the arm of Bhurisrava. Krishna justified it. Listen, Satyaki saved your life, so saved our life, your life. And he is fatigued. This fellow challenged him. So you don't have to bother too much, just cut off. It is our duty to save our friend. So that's an important lesson for all of us. We can punish our friend later if he has done something adharmic. Saving his life, and that too because he saved your life. And the other fellow has not understood the whole dynamics of the situation. He challenged him, and this poor man accepted the challenge. So anyway, Yudhana criticized Satyaki also, that you were such a wretched character. And then after Bhurisrava lost his hand, he sat down in meditation, and quickly Satyaki picked up the sword and cut off, decapitated Bhurisrava. That is how Bhurisrava died. He was a great warrior. He was a Maharathi. So Yuyudhana, who is mentioned in the first paragraph in the Bhagavad Gita, is a great Yadava warrior, Maharathi. He taunted Satyaki that this is what you did, you wretched fellow. Remember, Satyaki statue is there. In Triplicane there is a temple. In Triplicane there is a temple, Madras or Chennai, Parthasarathi temple. In that temple you can see Satyaki statue is also there beside Krishna. It's a huge Krishna statue. I think it's about 10 feet. And Krishna has a big moustache also. That is the only temple where I saw Krishna with a nice big moustache. So, Satyaki was taunted, and they got into a fight. It became a fisticuffs, a melee, M-E-L-E-E, drunken brawl. They were all drunk. And further, Yuyudhana also narrated how Satrajit was killed. So that is how the fight started. You see, drunken brawls often start like this. So that is why drink alcohol, mahapatakam. Do not drink alcohol, because alcohol is a primary progressive terminal disease. Life is the greatest binge. Life is more powerful than alcohol. If you can understand this and avoid, people will tempt you saying that it's okay, social drinking, and some rascals will tell you it's good for the heart. Tell them to drink. But don't ever touch that. It is tamasic. Huh? Please avoid it. Completely avoid it. So, you see, alcohol completely hijacks the brain. The capacity to think is lost, and emotional hijacking, and almost all crimes occur because of this emotional hijacking. And then also the brain chemistry gets altered. The capacity to think clearly, rationally, a sense of moral responsibility, all these things are completely lost because of alcohol. Article 44. No, I think Article 44 is Uniform Civil Code. Article 47. The state should endeavor to bring about the prohibition of alcohol. All intoxicating drinks and all that should be prohibited. And Article 48 is this is cow slaughter should be banned. But nothing is being followed. You see, our constitution has become a dead letter. DEADLETTER, dead letter. Means a law that is inoperative. It is not enforced because of spineless politicians, and you see, the spineless system. Law enforcement officers are also stooges of the people in power. So this is how we have created a kakistocracy. KAIKAKISTOCRACY. Kakistocracy. Which means the rule by the worst people. The most incompetent rascals are ruling. Of course, fortunately under Modi ji things have improved. And I hope after Modi ji should win anyway next year, 2024, and Yogi ji should become the PM next after that. So then I think slowly we will limp back to a normal society and perhaps someday established Rama Rajya. Pakistan was created on the basis of religion, and Ambedkar ji wanted all Muslims to be transferred, but we didn't do that, and we are paying for that now. 5 times a day we have to listen to what they say, that Allah is the only God and others should not be worshipped. But when we criticize, when we say Jai Shri Ram, they get offended. So this is a pitiable state that we Hindus are in. So at least now we should change things. We should boldly take some steps. Cut the Gordian knot. All these things should be banned. The Azan should be banned. The parliamentarians should pass a law that you cannot ride roughshod. And anyway, I don't want to get into this discussion. These are the lessons that you have to learn from Mahabharata. See, alcohol, every year, so many accidents, so many deaths, so many crimes. Nobody has undertaken any study on what are the total costs of the consumption of alcohol. Many idiots are promoting it. Many politicians are drunkards, and they are giving licenses left, right, and center. Every street you see has half a dozen wine shops. And the wine shops, according to law, should be at least 5 kilometers away from a school, but they are just beside the school, adjacent to the school. So they are ensuring that kids, high school kids or even middle school kids could be drinking, because they have breezer and mild beer and all kinds of things. Girls are also drinking. So what kind of a society? Look at American society. So this is how degeneration sets in, and that's what happened to the Yadavas. When prosperity reaches a certain summit, zenith, then unless we introduce safeguards, the whole civilization will be ruined. So we need some powerful leaders. If you ban, it will still be sold. Yeah, but then there will be a high penalty they'll have to pay. So that situation is better than this open sale. Okay, anyway, so please, this is what happened to the Yadavas. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Edward Gibbon also writes similarly. Why did the Romans collapse? How could the Roman Empire, the great Roman Empire, collapse so fast? Because of this affluenza. AFFLUENZA. Affluenza means the disease of too much wealth. Same thing happened. So Satyaki, all of them started fighting with each other. Satyaki decapitated Kritavarma. Hmm? And Kritavarma belonged to the Bhoja family. So Bhojraj, you see Bhoja statue is there, na? So you must have heard of that Raja Bhoj. He was a legendary king and devotee of goddess Saraswati, and he was the ruler of Malwa from 1010 to 1055. He established the city of Bhopal, the present day Bhopal. You will see his statue, a 32 feet statue made of gunmetal and bell metal. So that is Raja Bhoj, who is a descendant of Kritavarma. Raja Bhoj was a great, powerful ruler, very learned, very erudite, profound scholar, and he was a scholar of astrology, politics, vastu, poetry, literature, medicine, and he wrote about 84 books, and he was a supporter of Vedic knowledge, and he was a great king. I think the statue, this in Bhojtal, which is a lake, and 50% of Bhopal's freshwater source is this Bhojtal, and I think it was installed by the Madhya Pradesh government in 2011 to honor Raja Bhoj's 1000th anniversary. So this is how you see Kritavarma was killed by Satyaki, and Satyaki, Pradyumna came to the aid of Satyaki. Both were killed by the Bhoja warriors. Pradyumna, as you know, is the son of Krishna. Krishna, Pradyumna, and Pradyumna's son was Aniruddha. Aniruddha's son was Vajranabhi, the grandson of, great grandson of Krishna. Okay, anyway, so Vajranabhi survived. Vajranabhi was Krishna's great grandson who survived all this battle. So Pradyumna and Satyaki were killed by the Bhojas, the Bhoja warriors. All of them, Shamba, Charudeshana, Aniruddha was also killed. Aniruddha is the grandson. So these grass blades became swords. And so you see, what happened was, a son killed his father, father killed his son indiscriminately, without any outsider participating in this act of self-destruction. Krishna left the place because he knew there was nothing now he can do. The curse is operating. And anyway, this is Krishna Leela only. So this is a lesson again to all Hindus. We are busy making money, getting jobs, and dedicating our children so that they also get into jobs and become rich. But what about dharma? We don't teach them Bhagavad Gita. We don't instill cultural values. They don't wear a tilak. They will celebrate birthdays by spitting on cakes, blowing out candles. They are eating meat, and they are putting all kinds of tamasic food. The refrigerator is full of tamasic food. So psychological disorders. There is no study and understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So we have reached the tipping point. See the tipping point, you see. So once you have reached the tipping point, then something has to be done to pull the society back. Otherwise, disaster naturally will follow. So the tipping point is a concept which means a moment of critical mass. In nuclear physics and all that, the moment of critical mass, the threshold, the boiling point. That means, one more step, the last straw that broke the camel's back. You know that story, no? Camel and Arab. So, at this point, disaster. The next thing will be total chaos, complete catastrophe. The last straw. That's when the nuclear reaction takes place and it cannot be controlled. So that is how total disaster will set in. So we Hindus, fortunately, we have not yet reached that stage. Though we are very close to the tipping point, thanks to Modi ji, we have to start working. Otherwise, we will be completely run over by the Abrahamic cults, and Hindus will become museum pieces. We will be in museums. Okay. This is the only culture. Hindu culture is the only culture which survived the onslaught of Christianity and Islam. Europe was Christianized in 50 years by Christians, and Islam, which started in 640 AD, within 15 years Iraq, within 20 years, Iran, within 22 years, Egypt, Indonesia, which was predominantly Hindu, completely Hindu, Buddhist. So you can see this is how Islam went about spreading by the sword, Christianity also by the sword. They conducted inquisitions, mass murdered infidels. So this is our history. The world has seen about 45 civilizations, roughly. All of them were wiped out, except Hinduism. Hinduism is the only ancient culture. Sanatana Dharma still survives, and 80% of Indians are Hindus. That means we won more battles than we lost. That is why we are still a majority. But now, what could not be achieved through the sword is perhaps being achieved by law, and this fake pseudo secularism and this nonsensical democracy that we have allowed to set in. Dr. Ambedkar was very clear that all Muslims should be sent away. They are respecting Ambedkar but not following what he said. You must read his book, Pakistan, A Partition of India. Ambedkar was very clear. So anyway, these are lessons we have to learn from how the complete Yadavas destroys themselves. Krishna left and Balarama left, and Krishna then went to, he told his charioteer Daruka to inform Arjuna to protect the ladies, and he also told him to inform Arjuna and the Pandavas that the destruction of Dwarka is imminent and it will also be submerged. Okay, Dwarka, the kingdom, entire kingdom was submerged. Within the next week, this is what is going to happen. So Balarama sat in meditation, he left. He was Seshanaga, so some people noticed. So there is a cave there near Bhalka Tirtha. Bhalka Tirtha is a place near Prabhasa, perhaps about 5-10 kilometers away from Somnath, where there is a spot where Krishna sat in meditation, just sat there, and he was shot by a hunter whose name was Jara. Now Jara also means old age, so a lot of symbolism is always there in Hinduism. So Jara shot Krishna's left toe, the left foot's big toe, because it looked like the eye of a deer, and he could not see the whole of Krishna. Krishna was sitting under a banyan tree. So Jara shot Krishna, and Krishna, that was the thing that made Krishna give up his body, which was not a physical body like yours and mine anyway. So he gave up and Krishna left, because the avatara was over and all the work was done. Lessons have been taught, but we are not learning. So that spot is called Bhalka Tirtha. So this Bhalka Tirtha is actually a Triveni, holy Triveni. It is a Sangam of 3 rivers, Hiranya, Kapila and Saraswati. Hiranya, Kapila and Saraswati. So Jara shot him. This is actually a lesson we have to learn again. Rama shot Vali from behind a tree, and Rama came back as Krishna and was shot by Vali, who was born as Jara. So the lesson is simple. Even when Paramatma descends to the human plane, he will be bound by the laws that operate on humans. So where is the question of escaping the karmic reactions? So don't get into the karmic whirlpools. Become Krishna's agent and work selflessly. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Mahakarma phalaheturbhur mate sangvastva akarmani. You work, but you must remember that you don't have any authority, control over the results. So don't, if you indulge in any selfish activity, you should be willing to pay. So, but when you are working only for Krishna, when there is no selfishness, so all that you undertake is selfless, which is for Loka Sangraham. Loka Sangraham is to be understood as setting the right example and encouraging, motivating initiative in the people. That means initiative means they are self-motivated. You are not threatening. They should observe you. They should feel, wow, this is what I too should do. That is Loka Sangraham, and prevent them from going onto the path of adharma and bring them back onto the path of dharma. No frustration, no anger here. This is what you can do, and if you do this, which is what Krishna did. So That's why Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja, aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. So don't worry about protocol. Sarvadharman parityajya. Here Shankaracharya explains, Sarvadharman parityajya, the word dharma in this context should be understood as karma, which means all rituals. People are bothered about Rahu Kalam, E Kalam, Muhurtam, and this ritual, that yajna, and so many things they are bothered about. They wear stones. All this is unnecessary. Krishna at one stroke has, removed all the cobwebs. Krishna is the ultimate reformer, mind you. So all these things, you don't have any time in Kali Yuga. You never know when you're going to kick the bucket. So please, some people are doing it, let them do it. Don't spoil their minds, because dhobi ka kutta na ghar ka na ghat ka. That fellow, if he doesn't understand the philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, he abandons that, then he will become worse. At least now he is in kindergarten. Let us hope he will go to UKG, then first class, second class. You can do PhD straight away. Krishna is offering a doctorate in Vedantam, and you don't want to take that. So if you understand 18th chapter 66, that is, if you understand that much, then you can openly declare that you have done PhD in Bhagavad Gita. Doing PhD in Bhagavad Gita is equal to being a master of Vedanta. Vedanta means the knowledge of the Vedas. 108 Upanishads or 150 must be there, but Rama identified 108 in Muktiko Upanishad. Anyway, so you are being offered a doctorate. All that you have to spend is a few minutes listening to me or study Gita yourself. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Don't cry. Ma shucha means don't cry. Stop crying, man. Bhagavad Gita starts with ashocyananna sochastvam prajnavadanscha bhashase gatasuna gatasunschya nanushocanti pandita. Second chapter 11th, I think. Check. Ashocya, don't cry, and ends with don't cry. And Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Come to me. Come only to me. Don't waste your time going to petty shopkeepers. All the other gods are petty shopkeepers. Come to me. Vraja means go or come. Depending on how you want to interpret it. Mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. I will nullify all the reactions of your karma. Because you see, over, I don't know, millions of lives we have been born. 84 lakh yonis are there. So tens of thousands of lives you have undergone. And in all those lives we have committed so many crimes, so many karmas, so many positive, so many negative. So actually, if you are really a spiritual thinker, you should think, how can it be possible to nullify all the bad that we have to do? We will have to take another million janmas in order to pay back and close those accounts, isn't it? So that is a never-ending problem. So looks like we are completely hopelessly lost. That is why Krishna says, no, you are not. It is like switching off the fan. If the ceiling fan is running, you switch off the fan, what will happen? It will run, it will revolve for some time, and it will stop. That's it. If you follow 1866, your prarabdha is that part of the karma which is currently in operation. That prarabdha has given you a body, and now you are a human, you are able to listen to me. So pull off the plug of attachment to the world. Be a Krishna Bhakta. Then your body will continue for as long as it should continue in this janma. And then you will be released. You will dance with Krishna. Sahasrare Mahapadme Krishnena Sahamodate. This is guaranteed by Krishna himself. Ma Shuchaha. Stop crying. So I hope you listened patiently. So all of them went away. So I was talking about Bhalka Tirtha. So this is where, and Rama shot Vali, and Rama came back as Krishna to be shot by Bhalka. Jara the hunter. So Jara came and was profusely apologetic. Krishna told him, don't worry, this is the situation, you are Vali, so the equation is balanced, and he gives moksha to Jara. Isn't it wonderful? So go to Bhalka Tirtha. Somnath is Prabhasa. An interesting point to be noted as per the scripts, Niryana, Krishna's Niryana, which corresponds to 18th February 3102 BC. 18th February 3102 BC at 2 o'clock 27:30. So this is as per the information there. There has been a lot of research that has been fed into the software. Planetarium software, you can feed it, you will get. So the period after Krishna's Niryana, that means Krishna left. That is considered the beginning of Kali Yuga. 18th February 3102, afternoon 2 o'clock 2:30, Krishna left. Kali Yuga started. So we are now in Kali Yuga, and so you better follow 1866 Bhagavad Gita. Now let us continue with the Mausala Parvam. So I gave you a lot of information here. So Arjuna was given the information, and Arjuna came. Arjuna rushed to Dwaraka, and he noticed all the males were dead. And after meeting Vasudeva, he took all the ladies and also Vajranabha, the great grandson of Krishna. And all of them mounted the chariots, and they were to go to Hastinapura. But en route, Vasudeva breathed his last, and his cremation was also arranged for him, and all his wives also. They entered the fire. That is, you see, their bodies were not physical bodies, mind you. So this is not sati and all that, okay. So Arjuna, along with the help of other servants, he also found the body of Balarama and Krishna, and he arranged cremation for that also. Krishna's wife Rukmini entered the fire. Rukmini is Lakshmi Devi, okay. So fire cannot touch her. But anyway, that is how the whole drama was enacted. Some poets write that other wives also entered. So first of all, there are no other wives. 16,108 Krishna is believed to have had. So these are all poetic fantasies. But we have no problem, because the whole idea is to impress on the human mind the inscrutability of the Lord's Maya. So anyway, let us leave it there. While Arjuna was traveling on his way to Hastinapura, they were attacked by thieves. And Arjuna, to his surprise, could not recollect any of the astras, the mantras and the astras. And somehow he managed to fight. But some ladies were kidnapped, and a lot of jewelry was stolen by the dacoits. So Arjuna was totally helpless. He didn't know how to fight. So the lesson is, the lesson for you and me is, if you abandon Krishna, this is what will happen. So Arjuna was a constant companion. We are all constant companions. The Veda says, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vruksham Parishasvajati Tayoranya Pippalam Swadvati Anashnananyo Abhichakashiti. There are two birds on the tree. The human body is the tree. The two birds are Krishna and you, Krishna and me. And we are unfortunately wasting our time, busy eating everything, getting attached to everything. So get rid of the detachment. Do your work. Enjoy. You have a duty to enjoy, because if you enjoy Krishna who is within your Atma, he will also enjoy. But if you get completely attached and stop looking at Krishna, then you are finished. So, and you will lose all your power. You will suffer. All the wealth that you acquire will not save you. Not 1 second of extra life you will get. And nothing will save you. So this is the lesson. Arjuna could not, save. Some of the ladies were taken away. Though I don't want to get into that history. What happened? Of course, an entire civilization sprang up later. They're all Hindus only. I don't want to even name them now, because that will lead to some more. People are so touchy these days. It's like walking on eggshells. At the drop of a hat, they get upset. The sad state. So, en route, Arjuna met Vedavyasa, and Vedavyasa consoled Arjuna that this is all, that is how Krishna planned it. This is the Kal Chakra, Babu. This is how things have to happen. And you, those fellows, Yadavas, they incurred the wrath of the rishis. So be careful. Don't ridicule Bhagavad Gita or rishis and sadhus. Many are there. Fake sadhus are there. We have every right to question them. In fact, you have a right to even question Krishna. But what is the attitude with which you are questioning? So be careful. So never harm any Brahmin. Of course, there are so many fake Brahmins now, that's a different thing. But in fact, never harm anybody. Animittam trunam vapi chedayen na kadachana. Do not even pluck a blade of grass if you have no use for it. So that is the moral law. That is the categorical imperative of the Vedas. Do not harm anybody by thought, word or deed, because if you do, the karmic repercussions will haunt you. They will pursue you. There is no escaping. So Uh, Vyasa told Arjuna, Krishna could have prevented it, but he did not. Uh, so, if Krishna did not, then you must understand that's all according to plan. So, stop crying and all that. Go back. So, Arjuna left with all the whatever ladies he could save. So, Arjuna reached Hastinapura and informed Yudhishthira and all the others about the calamity and the merging of the entire city of Dwaraka into the sea, departure of Balarama and Sri Krishna. eh? And this is how the Mausala parva ends. Of course, there are some other legends. Krishna's heart was still there; it was beating, and it was found, and that is what is installed in Puri Jagannath. So that is another story, very interesting. Anything is possible. Krishna is capable of doing all kinds of things. So Puri Jagannatha, it is believed that in the statue of Jagannath, the heart of Krishna is still there. It is preserved. And I think once in 12 years they change the statue. Then the pujaris, they blindfold themselves and take out that heart, and it is installed in the new statues that are made. So this is a very interesting legend. And Puri Jagannath, 17 times Muslims have attacked. They wanted to destroy it, but they could not even scratch it. So it's a very powerful kshetra. Shanka Tirtha it is called. Please go. And there are so many miracles that are there in that temple. Many miracles have happened. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent, I think, 20 years of his life there. So this is a wonderful place to go, Puri Jagannath. So this is all Krishna Maya, Krishna Leela. And for us, at every point, there are lessons to be learned. Please exercise your critical thinking ability, and if you can draw some insights, if you can intuit, draw some wonderful inference, please feel free to mention that in the comment section so that we all together enjoy what is called Rasa Leela. True Rasa Leela is not that dance, that is, poets have created that dance. Rasa Leela is when you enjoy, because enjoy knowledge. The satsang is Rasa Leela. Bharata, we are all Bharatas. Bha means knowledge, light. Rata means one who revels in it. So we are all by nature, Hindus are all lovers of knowledge. Bharata means lover of knowledge. So secular knowledge, yes. Scriptural, yes. Spiritual, yes. Vedantic, yes. So we love knowledge. So we are basically a knowledge society. So knowledge is an important part of our DNA, unlike the desert cults where ignorance is the DNA. Ignorance is the DNA. And they won't even have the courage to question themselves. And as a result, these fellows will be actually repeatedly born as pigs and dogs and dung beetles and all that. So keep a safe distance. Don't follow their fashions or don't eat their food. Safe distance. Do namaste from a safe, because Krishna is there in them also. Krishna is making all his efforts to ensure that these rascals also regain the original position along with him. Jai Shri Ram.